My perfect sister lied to my young daughter about how I got pregnant at 15. Then my daughter called me a dirty whore and made me cry for the first time in my life. When I was 15, I was roped by someone who I believed was my friend. I got pregnant and carried my baby full term because I didn't want to abort her. Raising a child was really difficult, but my entire family was able to help and support me during this traumatic event. They were honestly the best family I could ever ask for. My parents put me in therapy and I have pretty much learned to live with it. My daughter is now 13 and because she's so young, I decided not to tell her just yet. I don't want her to know she was a product of a rope as this could mess with her development. I have a sister and she's the most amazing person ever. I looked up to her growing up since she was 22 when I was 15 and I think we only got closer when I got pregnant because she was always there to help me. I seriously wouldn't be who I am without her and I love her. Well, the other day I was picking my daughter up from school and she seemed like she was in a bad mood, so I wanted to do something that would cheer her up. I asked her if she wanted to go to the mall or go out to the Chinese restaurant she loves. I saw her roll her eyes, but she got really sassy when she was in a bad mood, so I didn't question it. She told me she couldn't because my sister had promised to take her to the movies already. I love that they were bonding, but I still didn't understand her foul mood. I told her I'd drive her to the movies, but she said no again and just asked me to drop her off at my sister's house, so I agreed. She came home 3 hours later and she was much happier. I asked if the movies were fun and I saw her whole mood shift in just seconds. She ignored me and went to her room instead. I thought this was weird because she normally always tells me how fun the movies are whenever she goes somewhere with my sister. I decided to call my sister to see if she knew what was going on, but she told me that she seemed perfectly happy and they didn't discuss anything. All they did was watch a movie and shop, so they didn't have any deep conversations like I thought. Then, I called my daughter down for dinner and she came downstairs, walked right past me, and grabbed her jacket and shoes. She was fully prepared to go somewhere, but she had not asked me for permission, nor did I know where she was going. So, I asked and she said she was going to get Mexican food with my sister. I told her I had already made dinner and I wanted to spend time with her. She got mad at me and told me to leave her alone because she didn't want to eat something a dirty SLT made. I was caught off guard and asked her what she meant by that. She said I was gross for losing my virginity at such a young age and that she was grossed out just looking at me. She called me a disgusting whore and slammed the door, then left. That honestly broke my heart and I started sobbing. I had gone to therapy for so long to try and cope with what happened, but as a result my own daughter basically SLT shamed me for having my innocence taken away. I have been crying ever since. My heart honestly just completely feels sad. I think my sister told her because she's the only person my daughter has been in contact with a lot that knows what happened. I'm devastated because she betrayed my trust and now my daughter hates me for it. My daughter came home late that night and I guess she heard me crying because she knocked on my door. I couldn't bring myself to open it because her words rang loud in my ears. How do I even approach this? Update: after a night of crying, I talked to my daughter the next day and I told her everything that happened. It felt horrible talking about it because I tried to put the past behind me, but there was no point in hiding it anymore. I said that I was hurt that she SLT shamed me, and her calling me that was like putting salt in the wound because I didn't even want what happened to me to happen. She started to cry and asked me to forgive her because my sister had told her a whole different story. She said this all started when she was talking to her friends about their parents and she said something about me being 28, so her friends asked her how my mom let me have a kid at 15. She was confused as well, so instead of asking me, she called my sister. She was more than happy to explain the whole situation in a weird, twisted lie. She was told that I slept around during sophomore year, went to parties a lot, and that's how I got pregnant. She was shocked and grossed out with the fact that my mom even allowed that. I figured my sister had fabricated a story, but I couldn't believe that she made it out to seem like I wanted to get pregnant at 15. She, of all people, knows how hard I struggled during that time, yet it was so easy for her to make me out to be some sort of villain. It hurts most because I adored her. As for my daughter, she's grounded until her school year ends because she was incredibly disrespectful to me and she has to know she can't say things like that without consequence. I don't blame her at all for what my sister said, but she could have responded better to it. After our talk, I called my sister to tell her to stay out of my life and to never contact me again. I have officially cut contact with her. I told my family, and to say they were mad is an understatement. My dad called her immediately to yell at her. He cut her off financially and has basically disowned her. My mom felt bad for what happened and comforted me. She also told me that she called my sister to ask why she lied. Apparently, my sister never believed I was roped. Even after nights of crying in her arms about the horrible experience and all the nightmares I talked to her about, she was so sure I lied to get attention or because I was a dumb teen who had unprotected intimacy and got pregnant. Then, when I couldn't deal with the consequences, I lied about the rope and got sympathy from everybody instead of my parents being mad that I was pregnant at 15. She also said I ruined her friend's life, the one who roped me, so she can never forgive me for that. She said she hates how he's been suffering over the false allegations ever since. It hurts to know that she believed I are pissed over her own sister. My mom defended me and said she had no idea what I really went through and she should be glad nothing like that ever happened to her. My sister called my mom stupid for still believing my lies after all these years. The truth came to a head when my sister blurted out that she hated me. She hated that I made her babysit and put her life on pause. She said she had big dreams that she couldn't achieve because of me. She resented me for getting pregnant and keeping the baby. She holds no ill will towards my daughter though and actually loves her like her own daughter because in her words, I was the one who actually raised her, not my name. After learning all of this, she will never be able to see my daughter ever again and I will never forget this.